This is the Barricade modular front bumper, and it's available for all 2013 through 2018 Ram 1500s, excluding the Rebel. Now you guys should be checking out the Barricade for your Ram if you'd like to go with a somewhat affordable off-road inspired bumper that will deliver better approach angle, a burly steel construction, and plenty of spots for auxiliary lighting, all for right around that mid to high $600 price point. All right, so getting into our features block here with the Barricade, there is a lot to cover from a functionality aspect, but first and foremost, I think it's easy to talk about the appearance here because personally, I really dig the look of the Barricade, especially when compared to that boring factory bumper. Something about the angular design of this option certainly is going to deliver a very aggressive off-road inspired look. And again, it isn't going to be terribly expensive compared to other off-road bumpers in the category. But now let's get into functionality because there is a lot to talk about again here. First and foremost, those angled ends not only look very cool, but more importantly, they are going to increase your approach angle off-road. This basically gives your Ram more off-road capability, if you will, allowing you to get those front wheels up on any obstacle without hitting the factory bumper first. So in addition to that, you're getting more approach angle, but you're also getting more angles or room, I should say, for articulation and turning with a bigger set of tires. Now, in addition to those ends, you're also getting a very tough build. We'll get more into this here in our construction block up next, but you're getting that plate steel build with a black epoxy powder coat, and together that will offer a very tough, burly construction that will certainly be up to the abuses of handling both on and off-road. Last but not least, lighting. This is another big area of functionality and features here at the Barricade. And as you can see, it does come pre-installed with 2 LED bars on either end here. They also have wiring harness ready to go for you guys. But in addition to that area, you have this massive space for either a 30-inch light bar or individual cubes, whatever you want to throw in there. You have plenty of real estate. And again, that will not only contribute to a cooler off-road inspired look, but more importantly, give you a ton of lighting off-road at night. All right, let's move into construction here at the Barricade. And again, you are gonna find that cold formed 5/32 plate steel build that is gonna be finished off in that 2-stage epoxy powder coat. Now again, that plate steel build, very, very tough overall. Certainly I think tougher than the factory bumper. And again, will hold up nicely both on and off road. Now, in addition to that, guys, you are getting all of the brackets and hardware here for this bumper, which will make for a pretty easy install, albeit a little bit on the heavy side. We'll talk more about that here in a bit. You can also notice things like cutouts for parking sensors, if equipped, of course, in addition to all of the stuff we talked about earlier, the lighting, the included wiring harness, which you can, wire into a fog light switch, your own custom switch that is totally up to you. And you also do receive some mesh to cover that opening if you chose not to use it for any lighting. All right, price point for the Barricade modular is going to live in that mid to high $600 range, which again does make this pretty affordable in the land of off-road bumpers, especially once you start comparing this to other maybe more expensive or premium options from companies like Addictive Desert Designs, Deviate, Fab4, and others, which can cost you hundreds more at the end of the day. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the installation, and the site's gonna call this a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you at least an hour to complete from start to finish. Now, to give you a better idea of how this one might go down on your Ram at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need an impact, various ratchets, an extension, 4mm Allen socket, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 16, and 18mm sockets, the provided Allen wrenches, 10 and 17mm ratcheting wrenches, an 18mm wrench, and also not shown here is an extra set of hands. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a bumper on our Ram, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory bumper, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, so the first step in our uninstall with the hood popped, and you will have to remove your rad support cover. Our truck does not currently have one. Grab a 10mm socket and remove the 4 bolts holding on the top of the grill. With all of the bolts removed, lift up on the brackets on the grill, slide it off your truck, grab the bottom and pull straight towards you. All right, at this point we need to remove 3 of the bolts holding the bumper to the wheel well liner. Our truck only has 1 here, but make sure that you have all 3 of these out. Grab your 7mm socket and remove them. I'm also going to remove this 7mm bolt as well, so we can peel back the wheel well liner and have a bit more room. With the wheel well liner pulled back, now we can see the bolt that holds on the fender to the bumper. You might have a little bit of trouble, but it's right on the inside here. It is pretty long, and it's in a precarious location, so you're gonna need a small ratchet or even a ratcheting wrench, 10mm. If you like, you can take the headlight out to get a little bit better access. But if you're cool to use a small tool, you can get to it right from the wheel well. Let's go ahead and remove it. All right, now we're gonna repeat that process on the other side. All right, so at this point, we're gonna remove the nuts that hold on our bumper to our frame. You will notice this new replacement bolt on our bumper. So we're gonna need to use a wrench on the back side here. You guys will not. So grab your 18mm socket and remove these. Now you may want a swivel socket for some of these to be able to get a good angle on your nut. Go ahead and remove them. All right, now the last one is a little bit higher up, so we're gonna be using a ratchet because the gun does not fit. It also may be a little bit hard to see, but it's the same concept of the other 3 you just took out. Grab your 18mm socket and repeat that process on the other side. Again, we're going to be using a swivel for this one. It's a little bit easier. And make sure your bumper is supported so that it does not fall when you take out the rest of the bolts. And finally, the last nut all the way up the top. We're gonna grab a ratchet for this one and remove it. And finally, make sure you unplug the fog light harness, press down on the gray tab, and remove it. All right, with all of those bolts removed, you can grab your bumper. You may want a friend for this step to help you out, and slide it off the truck. With the bumper cover removed, you can now grab the bumper itself and pull it off of your truck.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory bumper and everything off, the first thing we're gonna do before we install our new bumper is install our wiring harness and switch. It's the best time to do it because everything's off and you can route everything very easily. So we're gonna run our switch through our firewall into our cab, and the best spot to do that is gonna be this grommet back here on the firewall next to your breakthrough stick. Should push through very easily. Just might have to give it a little bit of persuasion. So we're gonna take our switch, and we'll get this through. I'm going to feed as much wire as possible through here first, just to make it easier. Now that we have most of that fed through, we'll go into the cab and mount our switch. Now once you have your switch all the way through and your wiring pushed in, you can go into the cab and we'll mount our switch. Now we can come to our battery and hook up our positive and negative terminals, but before we do that, we're going to come to the inline fuse on our positive wire and pull that out of the way. That's going to keep our circuit dead until we're ready to power it up. Take the cover off. pull that fuse out. You want to set it aside. So we're going to get our positive terminal on. We're going to grab our 11mm socket and come to our positive terminal on our battery. Undo that nut. We're going to get this on. Reinstall that nut. Tighten that right back down. Then we'll switch out to our 12mm socket. Now we're going to grab our 13mm socket and come to our ground side. Remove this nut. And you want to be very careful not to drop these. That one on. Get our nut back on and tighten that right back down. Next, we're going to route our plugs for our fog lights. So we're going to drop these down behind the front of our vehicle. We do have some openings down here. Just reach through. We're going to pull these down into the open area below where your bumper is going to go. And we'll do the same thing for the passenger side. Now you have the freedom to route these however you would like and tuck them in and make them look all nice. That is totally up to you on how you do that. You just want to make sure that you're out of the way of any hot or moving parts so you don't damage your harness or your vehicle in the process. All right, so now that we've got our wiring done and our grill back in place, we've got our new bumper up on the table because there's a few things we need to do to set it up before we go on to the truck. The first of which are going to be to fold out our wings and get them bolted in place. So we'll fold these out. Then once you have those folded out, you're going to find 2 threaded inserts on our brackets that we're going to need to install our provided hardware onto to lock these into place. So now we're going to grab our 2 provided 16mm bolts with lock washers and flat washers. Get these in place. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now we'll take our 16mm socket on our ratchet and tighten these down. And you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we have to tighten down our pivot bolt, so we're going to need our 16mm socket on our ratchet for our bolt head and a 17mm ratcheting wrench for our nut. Just want to make sure they're tight. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Next, we're going to mount our upper trim pieces to our wings. Now this lip is going to fall underneath our wing itself, and these have welded nuts on the bottom of them. We're going to grab our provided 4mm Allen head combo bolts and get these mounted. So we'll line these up with the mounting holes on our wings. We get our hardware loosely in place, and we'll show you what it looks like. Now we'll make sure these are lined up where we want them, and we'll grab our 4mm Allen socket on our ratchet and tighten these down. And once you have this side on, you can do the same thing for the other side. So now we're going to get our bumper in place. I've got an extra set of hands to help me lift it up into position, and we're going to install our 3 provided 18mm bolts with flat washers, lock washers, and nuts on each side. Now that we have this loosely in place, you want to adjust it to wherever you want it to sit, and we'll grab our 18mm socket on our ratchet and an 18mm wrench, and we'll tighten these down. And once you have your first side tight, you can do the same thing for the other side. Next, we can plug in our fog lights. Get our connectors lined up. Lock those into place. You can tuck your excess harness up out of the way. Feel free to secure this however you like. You just want to make sure they're not dangling down so that they don't catch on anything and damage your harness. Next, we'll install our license plate bracket. So we're going to grab our provided Allen head screw with a flat washer. We'll get it through one of our holes. Now once we've got that through, we're going to send that through the first hole. And on the back side of that, we get a flat washer. And one of our provided lock nuts. That'll hold that in place. And we can do the same thing for our other mounting holes. Now to tighten this down, we're going to grab our provided Allen wrench for our bolt head, then a 10mm ratcheting wrench for the lock nut, and we'll do the same thing for our other screw. Now one thing to point out is when installing this bumper at home, you're probably going to want to trim down your inner fender liner because it will hang down quite a bit and just be kind of out in the open. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to cut down our fender liner, but you definitely want to do that at home. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Barricade HD modular front bumper for your 13 to 18 Ram 1500, excluding the Rebel. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.